They say every small town has a secret, some old myth passed around campfires, some family curse whispered about behind drawn curtains. Most are harmless, ghost stories to scare children. But in Mill Hollow, the secret is real, and it waits in the fog. Mill Hollow's not the kind of place you stumble into. You have to mean to come here. Even then, the road twists like it's trying to lose you. GPS fails, cell signals drop. The trees grow thicker the closer you get. Pines standing like sentinels along narrow dirt paths. Rusted signs lean into the wind, pointing nowhere. We have one school, one diner, one grocery store with a warped floorboard in aisle 4. There used to be 2 churches. Only one still stands. The other, St. Luke's, burned down long before I was born. People say lightning hit it. Others say something older lit the flame. We don't talk about it much. We don't talk about a lot of things. For most of my life, Mill Hollow felt like a place untouched by time. Seasons came and went. Kids graduated and either stayed or didn't. And life went on in its slow, stubborn rhythm. Until the fog came. It was Friday, October 3rd. The air had the bite of early autumn. Leaves crunched underfoot like paper as I locked up Donnie's hardware. The sky was already dark, though the sun had only just set. I remember the wind dying down, and then nothing. Not quiet. Silence. The kind that presses on your ears like deep water. Then the lights dimmed. Not flickered. Dimmed. Like someone was slowly turning down the world's brightness. I turned around, confused, keys halfway into my pocket. And that's when I saw it. The fog. It came rolling down Main Street, from the east. Thick, pale, and wrong. It didn't drift or rise. It crawled, hugged the ground, slid along walls and curled around corners like fingers. I swear it moved with purpose, ducking under doorways, weaving between cars, slipping through mail slots and cracks in foundations. I stood behind the glass door of the shop and watched, frozen. I couldn't explain it, but I felt like it was watching me back. I didn't sleep that night. Something about the fog stayed in my bones. The next morning, word spread fast. James Langston was missing. 11 years old. Last seen chasing his dog after sunset. His mom found the back gate open. Tiny footprints in the dew led halfway across the yard before they just stopped, like he'd vanished into the air. Search parties combed the woods. Drones buzzed the skies. Even the river got a team of divers. Nothing. 2 days later, Clara Reeves disappeared. Lived alone up on Mill Hill. Her front door was open, dinner set on the table. Her car sat idling in the drive. By the end of the week, 5 people were gone, and the fog kept coming. Always after sunset, always from the east, behind the charred skeleton of St. Luke's. It would drift in slow, coat the town like a wet wool blanket, and sit, quiet and still, until exactly 11:41 p.m., then vanish like it was never there. We tried to explain it. Everyone did. Freak weather, gas pockets, a killer using the mist for cover. But we knew. It was the fog. The town changed fast. People taped salt to their windows, hung crosses, dream catchers, whatever they thought might help. The church held nightly vigils. Pastor Eli tried to rally hope, but even he started locking up before dark. Me? I started documenting it. I kept journals, charts, times and dates. I noted how the fog always followed the same path, how animals refused to go near the eastern woods, how birds flew over Mill Hollow without ever landing. And then there were the dreams. At first just whispers, a voice outside my window calling my name. Then memories. My grandfather, long dead, standing in my kitchen asking why I forgot him. Old friends I hadn't seen in years, accusing me of things I never did. I'd wake drenched in sweat, lungs aching, like I'd screamed in my sleep. And I wasn't alone. People in town started seeing things in the mist. Silhouettes, movements, faces. On October 11th, I watched Sarah Green walk into the fog. 17, smart, driven. She was looking for her little brother's stuffed bear, dropped during a rush inside. I told her to wait, begged her not to go, but she didn't even seem to hear me. She stepped into the mist with a flashlight, and the beam vanished within seconds. I chased after her. The fog was different up close, dense, heavy. Breathing felt like inhaling smoke and static. Sound barely traveled. I shouted her name, but it came out thin, swallowed whole. That's when I saw it. A figure, towering, slender, but wrong. Joints where there shouldn't be joints. Its arms hung low, grazing the ground. It had no face, just a hollow, swirling void where its head should be. It turned toward me. I didn't run. I couldn't. My body locked. My mind screamed. The thing didn't move, didn't speak, but it entered me. I felt it clawing through my memories. My first kiss, my father's funeral, every moment of pain or joy I'd ever known, dragged into its eyeless void and held there. It showed me Sarah. She was screaming, but no sound came out. Her flashlight flickered once and died. I stumbled backward, tripped on the curb, and crashed onto Donnie's steps, gasping. The fog didn't chase. It never chases. It waits. Sarah never came home. I went to Sheriff Keenan that night with everything. My notes, my maps, times, patterns. He didn't laugh, didn't scoff, just stared, pale and quiet. Then he unlocked a drawer and handed me a thick file. Old newspaper clippings, handwritten notes, photographs warped with age, and a journal, leather-bound. E.K. Elias Keenan, his grandfather, stamped on the front. The sheriff didn't say a word while I read. Fog returned. 10 missing in 3 weeks. Same as 45. Same as 05. Church site still the source. Ritual failed. Town voted not to try again. Silence is survival. I looked up. What ritual? He poured 2 drinks, handed me one. His hands shook. The founders made a deal, he said. Back in 1905, the first time the fog came, St. Luke's was built over something. They thought they could contain it, feed it even. Said it fed on memory, grief, fear, the parts of us we hide. And they let it take people? Not everyone, just enough to keep it quiet. Why didn't they stop it? He laughed, bitter. They tried. Every few decades, someone gets brave. They try a ritual, seal it, banish it. Never works. Or maybe it does. And then it wakes back up later. This time, he said, it wants more. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I planned. I returned to the ruins of St. Luke's, with road salt, a camcorder, my grandfather's old flare gun, and the ritual, copied from Elias Keenan's journal. A chalk circle, a blood offering, and Latin I could barely pronounce. The fog came early. It surged over the ruins, like it was reclaiming its throne. I knelt on broken stone and began the circle. The humming started first, low like a swarm of bees far away, then louder, vibrating the ground. From the fog they came. Sarah, James, Clara, dozens more. Faces half-formed, eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams. Not alive, not gone, just held. Then it appeared. Not the thin figure, not this time. Something larger, a shape of bone and smoke and shadow, towering over the ruins. It wore faces like masks, shifting, flickering. My mother, my brother, my own. It opened its mouth, and every emotion I'd ever felt screamed back at me. Joy, rage, despair. It poured into me, a tsunami of feeling. I shouted the invocation. Blood dripped into the circle. It recoiled. The fog twisted. I saw something at its core, a black, pulsing heart. I fired. The flare hit dead center. Light exploded. The creature shrieked without sound. The fog pulled back, shredded by the blaze. The figures vanished like ash. And then, silence. Real silence. The humming was gone. When I stumbled home at dawn, the town was still. That night, the fog didn't come. For the first time in weeks, we breathed. People smiled again. The school reopened. The harvest festival was rescheduled. Sheriff Keenan resigned the next morning. I haven't seen him since. But something's wrong. I still dream. Only now, the voice doesn't ask. It remembers. Every night at 7:17 p.m., I feel it. Just a chill, a breath, a whisper at the nape of my neck. I think I didn't stop it. I think I fed it. And I think now it knows my name. Thanks for watching Cryptic Chronicles. If you love eerie stories and creepy tales, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.